Hey everybody, welcome back to the Tribe of Nerds. We're back for Total Drama Island, Week 3. Devin, Joe, and I are talking about episode 13 through 18. We're finishing up the pre-merge and talking about the first half, really, of the post-merge. So this is a very interesting group of episodes.
I mean, we're coming off of one of the strongest episodes of the series, in my opinion. So, immediately coming off of that, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, am I gonna enjoy it? I ended up enjoying it, but I was like, oh gosh, is this the part that, I feel like I shouldn't say a kid, because I was 13 or 14 when this came out, but this was the part when I was kind of in a slog fest, because it kind of felt like they were just getting rid of the people who you knew weren't going to win, but how are they going to eliminate them, because they're usually the likable people.
Right. Yeah, it feels like we definitely get a lot of those in this post-merge. I feel like that's an issue with Island, is I feel like a lot of the eliminations, especially now, just do not make any sense.
Yeah, they already know who needs to be in the final 4 or 5 situation, basically. So they're just okay, let's just kind of get through this real quick. But I mean, I think it's still enjoyable. I still had a good time with a lot of it. This first episode that we watched, the Herald dudes. I mean, boobies. Come on,
we talk about characters getting really strong exits. I think that Harold has one of the strongest exits on Island. As far as it's funny, it's in character, it doesn't feel forced, and it kind of wraps up his arc really well. He's one of the few that really ended everything you wanted from him on Island, in my opinion.
And his showmance, I think, being kind of out of nowhere, and it's so quick compared to everyone else's showmance that it stretches out over multiple episodes and all that stuff. And this is just kind of comes here and it's there. You can actually see it in some of those early episodes, Harold, being into her, but just for it to then be oh, there it is, right after he gets eliminated, is when they throw the bombshell that was him.
Right. I mean, they do set it up from episode 1 where he goes for big and loud.
Yeah, and he looks like he's super into it. So I mean,
I think the episode with Harold, for me, this was almost you could tell that the writers were ready to merge them, because a lot of this episode actually focuses on a relationship, or not, I shouldn't say a relationship. I don't want to it's Gwen and Bridgette. I feel like they carry the, what would you call it, the non-challenge portion of the episode.
Yeah.
Kind of focuses on their formation of a friendship, and then hints at the fact that they will be on a team here soon, in the following episode. So
right. Yeah, it definitely feels like that. And this is another episode as well. We should definitely mention Trent gets injured again.
Just his running gag. That's what they gave him, basically.
I think at this point they were done with Trent. Yeah. I think that they were okay, he's gonna have a relationship with Gwen. We've established that. Where can we go? So let's just have him get injured until basically we're ready to write him off the show.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense too, because if you look back to the early, when they were first kind of coming up with the concept, he was just the normal guy. That's what they literally kind of labeled him as. He's the normal guy with everyone. So they didn't really have much in terms of comedy with him. It was pretty much just they gave him the Gwen relationship, and then that was the only thing that they could think of. But it can still only take you so far.
Yeah, right. We'll talk more about Trent, I think, when we get to his episode, because I have things I think about Trent, but I don't want to say them until his boot.
Yeah. I did like this challenge, though. I mean, of course, obviously the Herald moment that we'll get to in a sec, but I think that there's some fun stuff in there. I love even in that jet ski challenge of Duncan wiping out, because he tries to Heather gets her top torn off, and then Duncan just wipes out trying to lose Lindsay. And then my other favorite line of the episode, besides anything that Harold says, is Chris being between Duncan and Harold, and Duncan's the chick was determined.
Yeah.
So yeah, but are we ready to get to Harold's iconic moment here?
Yes.
All right, so this is where Heather decides to cut the geek loose and try to cut the strain as Harold is literally carrying his team on his back once again because he's the MVP of these challenges. And her top gets ripped off. And any parents that thought this was a cartoon immediately had to shut this off for their kids.
Yeah, I watched this live as a kid with my parents in the room, and they were like, "What are you watching?"
Okay, so I have to say though, like, this was kind of one of the like, they censored a lot of crap moving it to Cartoon Network.
Yes.
Somehow the boobies stayed.
No, the first two get changed to Booyah, and then it becomes
No. The actual shot of the boobies continued to make it past censors. Like, you think they just cut that little portion out, but like, to me, I'm like, you all censored the word boobies, but not the actual boobies. Like,
yeah,
like I feel like the way that I don't know how they got that past like 7.
Listen, you gotta teach anatomy at some points, you know.
Yeah, but even shows like that cross the line a lot, like shows like Family Guy and like there's only a handful of like, there are hundreds of episodes where something like that is censored. I actually can't think of one where breasts are shown. I can think of ones where butts and dongs are shown, but I don't think that I've ever seen a show just full, like an animated show that's like, especially targeted
teens and preteens are the target audience of this show. So
yeah. We should also remind everybody that these are 16-year-old players. Like,
yeah. This isn't in Japan either. Okay, you know, like the consent in Japan is very different.
This was just, I mean, to be fair, this is one of the funnest moments as far as like for a character, what this, not really the actual moment, but like what the moment brings to Harold's character. And he gets some like of the funniest lines in the uncensored version, because you're right, they do edit it to be Booyah. Like, what the hell was that? But anyway, like his line where he's like, I lost, and I saw boobies. Like, best exit line of the entire series, except for maybe Courtney's like, I do not concede.
Yeah. Well, and it's just funny, they do the first two boobies as Booyah, and then when he does the I lost, I saw boobies, they don't censor that, and then they don't censor what Leshawna being like, whose boobies did you see?
Yeah, I mean, you got to have that in there, though. You know, you got to have the Leshawna being angry.
What was the point then? Then why censor boobies the other two times?
You got to minimize. They had a booby counter.
Yeah, like, the censors were like, you get one choice to keep boobies. Like, you can keep boobies in once. 3 times, hell no, not getting past the censors. You can keep the breast shot in for some reason.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
Like, anyway, this episode, overall, I think that this is a strong episode. I think that it's a little bit down from basic straining, but it's still a really strong episode, especially, like, this is kind of whenever I felt like they were hitting their groove with the writing.
Yeah, I still think it's better than actually a lot of the episodes previously, because I mean, basic training was like definitely one of the top episodes. But this one's still very good, like very memorable. You know, my eyes went, super wide when that happened. So, it stuck with me. It stuck.
I mean, let's just face it. From Paintball Deer Hunt to this episode, with the exception of one where a certain camper.
I wonder.
But anyway, there's 4 out of 5 episodes that are pretty much firing on all cylinders as far as like their writing is getting better. The actual like plots seem interesting and aren't just like arbitrarily contrived for the episode. Like, they fall through like with multiple like mini arcs. And even that bad episode, they do set up the like a lot of the Courtney Duncan stuff and then the DJ and his team stuff.
Yeah, 100%. The other funny part is that when DJ and Trent are jumping out of the plane after Trent gets injured again, and DJ falls onto the couch, and then the couch just like folds up and DJ into the couch. And everybody's like whistling and walking away. Like, how does DJ fit inside of that?
You know, I mean, have you ever seen one of those couches that pull in like that? I mean, it gets a lot of space in there, you know. So you know, it's just.
All right, well, let's hit the brunch of disgustingness as we get our classic Survivor challenge, the disgusting food challenge. And yeah, I think this did a good job at being disgusting, but still not going over the top ridiculous as like later Total Drama seasons do with this challenge. Like, I don't know, I see clips of like the reboot season and like they're barfing like rainbow colored barf in those, and then here they're just like
green, brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. This is the worst episodes in Total Drama Island for me. I actually just really don't like it, and it's like I like gross eating competitions and reality shows, but like the fact that there's no elimination, this just felt like a filler episode, and like just like a little bit, I guess, of Bridget's like dynamics with the girls.
right.
But like besides that, you can basically skip this episode, in my opinion.
The thing about this episode is it really is to set up that. Like, I don't know how to explain it, because like when we get further in and they start talking about the ratio of male to female contestants, I feel like this episode was set to kind of make that a like point without it being like, it pits them against each other like a battle of the sexes, so that it makes sense that like now they're thinking that way. I think that was what they were going for. Plus I think they had to fill an episode and might as well have them eat bull testicles for some reason.
Yeah,
Another thing, I'm just sitting here thinking like why is in the censored version? I'm really just thinking like, why is he throwing up at the thought of eating meatballs? Like, meatballs are good.
Yeah.
But in the uncensored version, whenever it's just bull testicles, now that to me is just so funny. Like, I don't know how it got past the censors. Like the censor team must have been the same. I don't know if you all have ever, what is it called? There's an anime out there that's like called Ghost Stories, I think. And I swear the censor team for that was like, they didn't give a crap what these voice actors said, as long as something was dubbed over the mouth that was moving at the time.
Yeah, I feel like the censors were going based off of what was okay in a lot of reality shows, and like at this time, Fear Factor was a huge thing, and they were doing stuff like this, and they were saying stuff like this. So I think at that time, it was totally normal for you to even be on a commercial and hear bull testicles, or you know, all these other kind of weird, gross things that now is like, I like, don't show that to kids, but like at that time, this was like totally normal.
I mean, there's also the fact that like they call them dolphin hot dogs, but like they're eating dolphin wiener, like not like but you know what I mean? Like it's a hot like
Dolphins can have pretty big wieners.
Yeah, dolphin anatomy. I'm just like, the fact that they're like I said, the censoring, like some of the stuff that they let them do on this show is like, it's hilarious but baffling. Nowadays, this would not get past. They'd be like, you have to take that out. Like, yeah.
Yeah, this episode is definitely filler and weird to me as well. Also, like the fact, obviously they wrote it so that it would be even between guys and girls for this. Like they weren't going to have like a gender imbalance yet, which is even weirder than the next episode. They're okay bringing 2 women back and having it be a gender imbalance that way anyway.
But they were only really bringing back Izzy. The other one was just there.
Yeah.
Okay, like when can we go ahead and go to? Are we good on brunch? Because
I don't. Yeah. I did want to bring up the only other thing is that they do mention a jury in this episode. Like Chris is like, you've all made jury. You're all gonna have a chance to say who.
Yeah, and then if you all did, okay, like I may have watched ahead. And later on, he says that the entire cast gets a say.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. These are all lies. Everything Chris says is a full-on lie. The winner will be determined by who can run around in a cow outfit or something.
Yeah,
like
I think that it was definitely like a plan for there to be a jury in this, and then they decided to pivot. You know, I think there's maybe a chance even that Heather was supposed to maybe even be in the final two and get screwed by the jury, but then they were like, let's just have 2 fan favorites, and then they kind of switched it around. It was like, that doesn't make sense. Let's just do a challenge now. That's my theory. So, but they just decided let's just keep it because you know we don't want to change that and add new stuff to fill time or whatever.
Yeah, I wonder if it's also just like they also just want to prove that Chris lies all the time and is like the manipulative reality TV host, producer. Like the fact that he also says that nobody is allowed to come back ever, and then next episode they literally call him out on it. He's like, "Oh, I did say that. Well, I lied."
Yeah, well, there's a lot of things in this season that they do to try to like really make you feel like it's a real show. Like the fact that it's like, and in the beginning, it's like, you know, every 3 days you're getting eliminated. That's not really important, but like, you know, a couple times they'll be like, Beth will be like, yay, we get to stay for 3 whole more days. And it's like, why are like, you know, we don't, that doesn't matter.
Okay, so go ahead, but I have something to say when we get to these returnees.
Yeah. I was just gonna say to the 3 days remark, it's like because that's obviously something that Survivor used to do is every episode is every 3 days in the old seasons before. They're just like, okay, the every 3 days doesn't necessarily matter. We just have to fit everything into the schedule of the season.
Yeah.
So, well, I think it mainly changed because they got more than 16 people. But
yeah, true.
But yeah, all right. Let's hit episode 15. No pain, no game. So Devin, you can go off about the returnees of Eva and Izzy.
Okay, so fan favorite Eva, funny line, super funny. I found this like, especially when Heather's like, she was a fan favorite, like, which also implies that this is going on and being aired not like Survivor. This is being aired like Big Brother, but also like, I get bringing Izzy back. I think Izzy's pretty interesting as a returnee, but like, if you're gonna bring back 2 girls, you gotta bring back Courtney. Okay. Like, I know it isn't an episode of us talking about Total Drama if I don't talk about why in the hell did you all not just bring back Courtney? She's more drama than Eva. Eva sucks. We know Eva's going home immediately. But, you know.
Yeah, I mean, and there would have been like a reason because she got screwed by Harold. So.
Exactly. I don't know what people watching it saw 2 episodes and decided that Eva was the fan favorite of 2 episodes or 3 episodes.
It's 3 episodes. So.
Yeah.
Yet again, purely brought her back just to give the rest of the cast an extra episode of screen time because they just needed to fill out and let more people do things.
Yeah. So as far as this episode goes, I actually rewatching it. I mean, it was very clear that this was just going to be an Eva revolving door episode, but there were funny moments because Eva was back, especially like, I don't know. I found it really funny when she just beat up the Yeti and took its hair and wearing Yeti. Like,
yeah, why that poor Yeti? And then, well, then the Yeti goes into the cave and we get the cameo of the bear acting like Sadie. No.
Yeah, if Eva stayed, she would have been a powerhouse. I'm just saying, some of these challenges, you know, like she would have been tough. It needed the like. Someone else has to beat the challenge and then she loses kind of situation for her to basically not be able to do it. So, yeah.
Can we also talk about how Eva just hates Bridgette? She blames Bridgette for everything, but none of the guys.
that comes out of nowhere too. Like it's not really Bridgette's fault. Like sure she voted, but like everyone voted her. So
okay, so Devin, headcanon theory.
Yeah,
I think that if they would have shown Eva, Katie, Sadie, Courtney, and Bridgette coming together in the first episode and making an alliance of girls with Ezekiel vote, and then Eva being the next to go, then she has a reason to dislike Bridgette because the other 3 have been eliminated and they all turned on her. So I think like headcanon wise, that's probably what should have happened. So that's my reasoning for why she hates Bridgette.
Yeah. When also like she should really hate Heather, I think the most. I mean, I think she votes Heather too in that episode. But like, you know, she probably should have more hate because if it is Big Brother live feeds, she should have been able to see what happened because, we later find out Courtney knows what happened with her elimination with Harold.
Right.
So it's not like they're being withheld information of how they went home. So, yeah, just some interesting, weird choices. I think it's just, yet again, trying to give Bridgette maybe something because, they know that she's got, only a couple more episodes after this, so they're trying to give her
say something, y'all?
Yeah.
I know that we're getting up on Bridgette's elimination here soon, but, I rewatching this, Bridgette gets quite a bit of content, really. And
100%.
More than I remembered.
Yeah.
And Jeff doesn't.
Yeah.
Jeff is all centered around Bridgette, but Bridgette has a friendship with Gwen, her relationship with Jeff, her rivalry now with Eva. She obviously it felt like they wanted to do more with Bridgette, which was kind of weird. In the early season, it was a lot of Trent, and I feel like it almost switched halfway through where they were like, okay, we're done writing for this guy, so pick somebody else on the cast. And they were through a dartboard, and they're like, Bridgette's the new person who's going to take over this tertiary third main character role for a while.
Yeah, it felt like they wanted her to be the other main female because I think a lot of us will probably agree Heather, Gwen, and Courtney are kind of three's main character energy. They're kind of always getting screen time. It does also feel like Bridgette was kind of supposed to also be in that kind of grouping.
Yeah.
But she kind of goes out a little earlier here in a way, and then doesn't really do much later on. So she kind of stops becoming thought about as one of those kind of characters. But they do literally from the Harold boots to her boots, they give her quite a bit of a screen time in those episodes.
Yeah, her storylines are really, really interesting. Obviously, last episode with the girls thing, where she's getting pulled between the different sides in the girls' cabin, and then here, she has Jeff fighting to get the punishment over Bridgette, just so Bridgette doesn't have to go through it. There's some interesting stuff for Bridgette in these episodes for sure. So, anything else from this episode?
I'm trying to think if they're Izzy's crazy and eliminates herself with poison ivy, and Leshawna defeats a bear in a what is it log rolling challenge.
Yes,
there was a lot of funny-ish or I wouldn't even say funny, humorous moments
it was a gag episode. There's a lot of gags, so it was just kind of here's the next gag, let's cut to the next gag, to the next gag.
Yeah. It's very much just haha, this person got hurt painfully. Duncan gets snapping turtles lobbed at him. So I don't know, but Leshawna does win her first immunity challenge and a trailer that's going to get destroyed in the very next episode.
And short-lived.
I love the scene where she's just walking back with her bags. Meets them up front with her bags. She's I'm moving back in.
Leshawna has some really great episodes. We're going to get now to this treasure hunt episode to Search and Do Not Destroy, where Leshawna is going to be the one who puts everything in motion for Heather or Trent. Leshawna is an amazing social player that she can just convince everybody to do everything to protect Gwen there.
I feel like this is where we get to see that they took inspiration. I'm guessing, I don't know, was Sari on Survivor at this point? I think so.
Yeah, her Exile Island was 2006. This was 2007. So.
Like I said, I always felt like they did draw on certain aspects of characters. You see a lot of Patch and Owen. I think that they did put a little bit of Sari and Leshawna.
Yeah.
As far as making her a strong player, but they also made her really good at challenges too.
Yeah, it's Sari, if Sari was good at the challenges as well as everything else.
And they kind of predict the future with how she gets eliminated too.
Because they threw Leshawna over just Sari.
Can I say something about this challenge though?
Yeah.
This challenge, in my opinion, makes no damn sense.
Yeah.
They each get a card, which is random. Only one of these cards gives you the key to invincibility, and it just so happens that the card that gives invincibility goes to Heather.
I know.
I feel like this would have made way more sense if they were just told that there were keys hidden around the island, and the key, the keys that unlock once you unlock a trunk, you can no longer unlock anymore. One of the
Yeah.
trunks has immunity. Have them run around. Probably would have made more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just let people be able to find keys, as many keys as they want. You know, I think even that would be fine. Like,
Yeah, Heather, this is really another moment of them giving plot armor to Heather. I feel like she's gotten it all season long, but this is like the biggest instance of it so far. Where Heather absolutely should have gone home this episode, and they had to find a random reason for her not to go home.
Yeah. But this is the episode where we get Heather pulling off probably her most infamous scheme of the season, where she basically kisses Trent in front of Gwen purposely, which leads to Gwen being upset. She tells Leshawna. Leshawna uses her apparent social capital that she has over everybody in the camp that we get to see her interact with most of these people, but they listen to her, and they all just vote Trent's ass off because Leshawna said so.
Yeah, and Trent's obviously shocked, completely blindsided that everybody didn't like him enough to, vote him off. He had no idea that it is pretty crazy how much Trent got snowed in this episode.
Yeah, and like no one talked to him about like, hey dude, why'd you do this? Or like, no one even asked his like view of what happened. Yeah, poor Trent, honestly. And like obviously like then they find out like Heather is the reason for this, and like Gwen is very upset about the fact that she just led to Trent going home because they didn't have a conversation. So
honestly, I think that this was probably the best that we could have hoped for Trent. We know what happens to Trent next season. So, we should just be glad that he left on this note, because at least this note kind of, is it weird? Yeah. It makes sense. And it pulls his arc together where, they love doing this. They love leaving the love relationship stuff like open-ended, especially in this season.
Yeah, they do, and I do feel like by the finale they kind of do sort of get Gwen and Trent back together enough to where they're good, but then obviously tear it all down the next season. But yeah, so Trent goes in our episode 17, Hide and Be Sneaky. And this is a very interesting episode because not only is this episode where we get another chef kind of centered episode where chef is part of the challenge, but also this is where the girls and the guys, the girls are obviously still divided, and then the guys make a plan to blindside Bridgette out of nowhere. And this vote kind of makes no sense because Jeff is supposed to be in with the guys, but he doesn't vote with the guys.
Can we talk about how bad of a strategist Duncan is? Okay, you want to keep the men around. Smart idea. You choose the one female on the island that you have somewhat of a relationship with because you just spent the entire merge with her to vote her off when you could vote off Leshawna. You could vote off Heather. You could vote off Lindsay. You could vote off Gwen. You could vote off the psychopath who's like probably going to get you all murdered. Like none of these 5 girls have to go. Bridgette has to go because Bridgette's likable. Apparently more so than Leshawna, who just controlled the last vote.
I know. Why?
And also like that's like they know Jeff likes Bridgette. Like it's just kind of a dick move from everyone to be like, come on, let's just take out your girl, Jeff, and you should be okay with this.
I think it just works out for Duncan because of the fact like Jeff isn't like that conniving to be able to like then get vengeance for Bridgette. So like it works out in his favor.
Okay, so Total Drama Island, the first season. I'm trying to think. Outside of Duncan, I don't think many of, and Harold to an extent, none of the guys really came here to play this game.
No.
The girls, we see Leshawna, we see Heather, we see Courtney, we see Bridgette even to a degree, we see Gwen. Like the girls are carrying the strategic part of this game. The guys are sitting around farting and fucking with Harold. Like
it's pretty much just Duncan who has any real strategic backbone as the guys.
Yeah, and then as Devin said, his strategy makes no sense right here. So.
Yeah. So
let's vote off the one girl that we actually be able to pull into our alliance.
It's bad. It's bad looking back. And then yeah, I've also like wondered if like Jeff like I think he didn't vote off Bridgette, but I'm trying to make the vote make sense. So if all 6 girls did 3-3 on Owen and Duncan, and Jeff either didn't vote for Bridgette like he said, or he did and is lying to Bridgette that he, didn't vote her off when he did. That's kind of my thought.
So Leshawna and Heather are immune.
Yeah.
So my thought is this. I have Devin headcanon. My belief is that obviously we know Heather and Lindsay voted Owen.
Yep.
We know Gwen and Leshawna voted, I believe, Duncan, right?
I think so, yeah.
So we got 3 that are definitely Bridgette votes, which means Bridgette, Jeff, and Izzy are like the 3 wild cards here, where Izzy said she agreed to vote with them against Owen, but I just don't think that happened. I think Izzy probably threw a random vote.
Yeah.
Well, according to the voting chart that I have here, Izzy voted Bridgette.
Oh, so they somehow pulled in Izzy. Owen must have told Izzy, and then they just decided not to put it in the show.
You have to make it make sense. And like, I just think Jeff and Bridgette probably voted together, and they probably voted like, who do they vote? Leshawna, or they can't vote Leshawna, they can't vote Heather.
Apparently, according to this, Jeff voted Heather, and then Bridgette voted Duncan.
Okay,
but Heather was immune, so
yeah. There's like an asterisk next to Heather too, so I don't know why. I guess maybe he voted her, but that just didn't count.
I guess
he couldn't vote for anyone else. So it was like, I'll vote for the person who's immune.
This is Total Drama's attempt at the Gretchen vote.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, this was their attempt at making a like 4 to 1 to 1 to 1 to 1 to 1 bullshit vote.
Yeah,
but they did not do it correctly because we don't know. None of this makes sense. We are told Bridgette's going home by the guys, but how it actually was pulled off, we don't know. Yeah. Heather could have voted Bridgette because Heather found out the boys were voting Bridgette. That would have made sense.
Yeah. And thinking about it, like, it's not in Jeff to really like lie necessarily. Like it makes sense for him to lie to the guys, but it's not, or like, be reluctant to tell the guys, but like, it doesn't make sense for him to lie to Bridgette. So it's not in his character.
Oh yeah. And let's just say it. They also made Bridgette stink, made her get sprayed by a skunk.
Yeah. That adds insult to injury. Poor Bridgette.
That's like also kind of a role for some characters, Cody had to be in a freaking wheelchair and be crippled, Bridgette's got to be smelling like a skunk.
Yeah, I mean, the animals this season are like the extra contestants, basically, because they have a personality, and obviously even there's a challenge at the final 7 where they've hunt animals, so like they really made them part of the show as much as they could.
Yeah.
And then we're on our final episode for this, right?
Yes, the bike episode, which is, of course, that's off the chain. So this is, of course, the episode where they have to create their own bikes, but then they switch everybody's bike, and it basically comes down to then the final 4 in the second half of the challenge, which is Duncan, Owen, Heather, and Lindsay. But it's basically the last person to cross the finish line is out, and Duncan and Owen get blown up, basically, and then Lindsay lets Heather through and crosses second, but because she's the last to finish, technically, Lindsay is just eliminated.
Yeah, terrible elimination decision. Leads to a great moment with Lindsay here, but I just hate that. It's just like, here's a BS elimination here that we're just gonna now throw in.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, let's talk about this Lindsay moment here. Obviously, Heather shows that she just doesn't care about anybody and was just using Lindsay as her loyal minion. And Lindsay finds this out that now Heather really hasn't cared for her at all, and basically then lets Heather have it, cusses Heather out, or in the dub version, she calls her a mean bully of a girl or whatever it is.
Yeah, the cussed out version way better, way significantly better than that version.
Can I also just point out that the dubbing over it was gosh awful, like
So bad.
really bad.
Yeah.
You're a lying, manipulative bully of a girl. Backstab, lying, bullying.
It's so bad.
Because I only really remember the cutout version, but then I watched on Netflix, and then I heard the dub version. I was just like, "What? They ruined this moment. This moment has been ruined."
They really did. Like the bleeping of the actual version just is so much better.
The blurring of the middle finger,
Yes.
top tier. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you all can do that in post, but like, you all want to blur out my middle finger.
Blur out everything. Yeah, I mean, this is such a classic moment. I mean, this is another one of those moments where I feel like parents, if they had heard the non-dubbed version, they would have been like, what is this show?
Yeah.
Also, like, can we just talk about the fact that they clearly had no idea what to do with Leshawna and Levi?
No, that's another thing is they didn't even compete in the challenge and they're ineligible to get eliminated.
Yeah, they just get a free pass here because they're just going to ride down a hill the whole time. Like, what a hill for this entire episode, where they're just going.
I would have been safe this episode because they would have said, Devin, you got to build a bike. And I would have been like, no, ain't happening.
Yeah, I'll just take my L.
I don't trust bikes that have been built for me, much less when I built my damn self.
Yeah, Chris would have been like, Devin, you're safe.
Like, I'm cool. I'm going to go eat some food. Go hunt some food. Fucking shack. Apparently feeding us literal garbage.
Yeah. I do also find it an adorable moment. We get Owen, hugging Lindsay and crying hysterically. That is a cute moment. So, yeah, I mean, and again, like Lindsay being able to stick up for herself to Heather is, just very, very good. And I think also the fact that we're now going to get like lead up to the karma with Lindsay and Heather, because Heather threatens to shave off Lindsay's hair in this season leading up to this when she's sleeping, which leads to what happens to Heather.
Yeah.
So I love that. All right, that is episode 18. I mean, anything else before we hit our favorite and least favorite characters of the episode? I think we can just probably hit that then. All right, my favorite character of the week, just for that moment of cussing everybody out. I mean, I could go with Harold, but I think I'll go with Lindsay. It's just they're both really fun moments to cap off this week, and so I'm gonna go with Lindsay because I think it's great to see her stick up for herself when she's been just the follower the rest of the season. So
yeah, I'm gonna honestly disagree with you. I kind of think that this is I think there's a lot of good episodes with Lindsay here. Great moment. Yeah, the cuss out version also, that was a commercial. Like, I remember seeing that in the advertisements as well. So, yeah, I think this was kind of a great moment for Lindsay, and really helps, I think, set up for later for action as well.
Yes.
So yeah, I'll agree with you on that one.
All right, Devin.
I'm going to go off the beaten path because I think this is the only time we'll be able to say this character. I think I'm going to give a shout out for Bridgette because I was most surprised by my enjoyment of Bridgette over the course of these episodes. Yeah. So I don't think we're ever going to get to say that again. So I think
I don't think she has a stretch of episodes that as good as this.
I'm going to say that I agree that probably the strongest character moments happened for Harold and Lindsay, but I think as an overarching 6 episodes, I'm going to go Bridgette.
Yeah, Bridgette's great. I mean, this is it for Bridgette at this point, because then the next 2 seasons she doesn't do anything. So
she kisses a pole.
Yeah, she kisses a pole. That's about it. And Jeff, yes, those are the 2 things in 2 seasons after this. All right, so then least favorite character of the week. I'm just gonna go with the most useless character of the week, and that is Eva. So
right there with you, bud. I'm right there with you.
Devin, are you gonna make it a trifecta?
You know me, I have to go off the beaten path. I'm going to go with a character that I don't think we spoke a lot about this 6 episodes. I think, looking back on it, I think this was a really weak 6 episodes for Owen.
Yeah.
Wrong.
They did very little with him. They did very him, and I think that's kind of a travesty. Like, Owen's supposed to be the comedic relief, and we did not speak hardly all about him for 6 episodes because they didn't know what to do with him.
Yeah, well, he's there for funny gags. They cut to him for funny little gags here. And that's amazing.
I will say, I think one moment for Owen that we forgot to talk about is like they form the guys alliance, and then literally Gwen just like goes up to him and he's like, "Oh yeah, we do have a guys alliance."
Yeah. He was also he was very against doing the alliance. He did not want to do alliances.
Yeah, fact, because I've already watched ahead. Owen gets more.
Yeah.
As we get to like final 6, final 5.
Yes.
Well, not really 5, but final 6, final 4.
Yeah, you guys should watch. I recently saw this guy called Chase Bridges who like broke down.
I've watched.
Yeah, and he's going through like every episode and he's trying to figure out the winner and who's going home next each time. Yeah. He just did the Road Tour one too. That just came out. It's like yesterday, I think. So great.
Yeah, I love that. For like, I think that's a fun thing to do, to like watching for the first time and like trying to predict Total Drama Island.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and it's just you're going to be wrong because they're just doing random shit most of the time.
Yeah. All right. Well, next week for Total Drama Island, we will be talking about 19 through 24. So we will have that, and then the finale week as the last 2 episodes of season 1, Total Drama Island. So we will talk about Leshawna's robbery. We will talk about DJ scaring himself.
DJ's robbery. Leshawna's robbery. What the hell happened with Jeff?
Yeah.
And then a really boring final 4, and then a really good final 4.
Yeah. There's a weird episode in there that's also filler. So we'll talk about all of that next week on Total Drama Island on the Tribe of Nerds.
Where's Courtney?
Boobies.